The best story in college football right now is the Colorado Buffaloes, and I will not hear anybody else. They go out there, and Travis Hunter too, Shedeur Sanders, the entire thing. It is fun to watch. First of all, this game, big noon kickoff. Give me a break. I mean, what are we doing here? Colorado, they're playing at 9 a.m. For this big noon kickoff because they want to get
in youth football.
Saturday insanity. Morning. But listen, Colorado didn't have any problem playing at 10 a.m. or whatever time it was. They go out there. They handle business against a Utah team who, yes, their quarterback play is awful, but this is a team that almost beat BYU last week. This is a well-coached football team by one of the better coaches over the last decade in Kyle Whittingham. And they go out there and they hang 50 on them. And Travis Hunter didn't have the biggest game or the best game defensively, but he has an interception. He has a big, snag right by the goal line. And then he scores a rushing touchdown later in that game. He improved his Heisman odds. I don't really think it's much of a race, especially with the way Dylan Gabriel played. And Ashton Jeanty, I've said it since the beginning. You're not winning the Heisman playing against freaking Utah State and San Jose State every week. I don't care that you had 160 yards. You need to have 500 yards against San Jose State for me to be like, okay, you know what? That's a little impressive. No, I'm not impressed by 160 yards.
No, and I mean, even the discrepancy between, Colorado plays a very weak schedule. It's much more impressive than what Boise State has been playing. I mean, it's Colorado is closer to the SEC than Boise State is to Colorado's schedule, in my opinion. Yeah, the Heisman, he's a Heisman reel kind of a guy. He's a highlight reel Heisman where, he didn't, if you watch the game, he didn't have his best game but he had 3 plays in particular that you were like, damn. He is the most exciting guy to watch in college football. Shedeur Sanders is absolutely unbelievable. His ability to extend plays and still keep his eyes downfield is second to none in the country right now. And that stuff plays. That stuff translates at the next level. Obviously, he's got to reel some stuff back. But this team is so much fun to watch. Deion Sanders is must-watch TV, just being on the sidelines. I love this Colorado team. I'm excited that they're going to have a real chance to be on the, they are on the national stage. Make no question about it. But for them to be in the Big 12 championship and then, potentially, depending on what shakes out, they could get a first round bye.
I don't think it's talked about enough the job that Deion Sanders done. And everyone will talk about
Colorado was one of the worst programs in the country.
They were probably the worst Power 5 program in the country. And where he's gotten them to, even if they don't make the college football playoff, is nothing short of outstanding. But I'm talking about where this team started this year. I mean, this team started getting beat the hell out of by Nebraska. I mean, 28-3. I mean, they couldn't do anything offensively. This is not the same team that Nebraska played. I mean, this team has gotten so much better, both offensively and defensively. And I think that was the big thing we were wondering. Like, could this defense ever look competent, especially after last year and then the early part of it? This defense plays tough. This defense is not great, but they play tough. They make some plays. They have some big interceptions, some turnovers. They play some winning football, at least at the level that they're at. They're not going to win a national championship, but they play good enough, and they've gotten so much better as a team from just the start of this season, not just when Deion took over. That's obvious. The start of this season. I think that's what's so amazing when you see a team, because we look for that progress in the SEC. How do you get better week after week? That's what we talk about Saban. That's what we talk about Kirby Smart.
And why Brian Kelly, fire talk is happening.
And we're seeing it right in front of our eyes with the Colorado Buffaloes. I mean, I don't think any team has made more progress from the start of this season to the end. And for anybody that was doubting Deion Sanders, I don't care why you doubted him. It was kind of just like this big show at first. This guy can coach football. I mean, there is no doubt about it. When you talk about LSU's next head coaching position, Coach Prime coming to the Bayou.
Listen, that would be fun and all, but I've been the biggest fan of Prime. I have supported him. I will continue to support him wherever he goes. I gotta see him do it without Shedeur. I mean, that is the most critical piece of any coach ever. And he's had, the best quarterback on the field for 95% of his games. So let's see what happens after Shedeur leaves for the NFL this season. I mean, that is big.
I don't imagine he'll be at Colorado for when Shedeur leaves. And I don't know if it's the NFL that's next for Deion. I don't know what's next for Deion. It could be Florida. It could be a bigger school. I have a feeling this Colorado thing was fun, but if he's really talking, and Deion, he wants to make a bigger splash. There are going to be spots for him because everybody's watching and everybody's impressed. And what he's done, undoubtedly, one of the more impressive things we've seen in college football this season. That wraps up our show for this evening. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll be back with you tomorrow.